Hi, and welcome to Network Storage Tips. On this short video, we're going to go through the configuration for the Netgear ReadyNAS Duo that we have connected up here. And as you can see from this resource CD, we have the RAIDar utility and some backup software that comes with it that can allow you to back up your Windows PC or Mac to the ReadyNAS Duo. Very convenient. Documentation, support, and registration. But in this particular video, we're going to concentrate on the RAIDar utility so we can get this set up. As you can see, we can check for updates here. What we're going to do here is just install from the CD. There weren't any updates. Of course, you have to accept the license agreement here. And you just click Next through this. Probably take the defaults here. Don't really want a quick launch icon. And we click Finish here, it'll run the RAIDar for us. Now we want to unblock this firewall alert here. Now as you can see, we're actually on kind of two networks here, and what the RAIDar unit has found is an NVX unit that we use, and here's the ReadyNAS Duo. Software tells us some information about the disks and even version of software on it, and this information here indicates that we have a good ready to go, and you can see the kind of the tooltip there pops up as to what the information is on that disk. And then down here, if I get a tooltip for the new Duo, it says that hey, it's dead because we haven't set it up yet. Now I'll try to get as much of this into the screencast as I can here without shrinking everything too much. But you can see in the address bar the address of our ReadyNAS Duo, and Firefox says this connection is untrusted. What do you want to do? Get me out of here? Well, no. we know what's going on and we understand the risks. That in this case there really aren't any, so we will add the exception and go through Firefox's little thing here. You may not get all this in Internet Explorer, and down here permanently store this exception. Sure, why not? Confirm it. And now we have to have the username and password. And on this one, it is admin with a password of Netgear1. And that information is actually in the little Start Here brochure that comes with the ReadyNAS Duo. And a little message here about the shares not being found. Yep, we know, don't have it set up yet. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of this in here. Now you can see the comes up with the default host name. It's ReadyNAS Duo. It is an X-RAID configuration. That's probably what you want. They do offer a flex RAID, but I really don't recommend that unless you're an advanced user anyway. IP address and the fact that it's offline. Let's click the Next button. But here we could switch to advanced control, and for your benefit, I'll just stay in the wizard mode. You can select the time zone and the current date. You can synchronize with a time server, which I do normally set up once we get going here. Now here is something that's pretty important. Here are the alert contacts, and this is where I was talking about in a number of these videos where when there's a problem with a drive, you want to know about it right away. So this will send an email out, and if you put in a valid email address, I do recommend then selecting the send test message so you can find out whether there's any firewall problems or whitelisting problems. You want to find out where the email comes from and make sure it is on your whitelist. Now here you can use the IP assignment. If you have a router that is already providing network addressing for your network, you can just tell it to use the values from that server. But personally, I kind of prefer to set my own IP address, and you can do that fairly easily. But maybe to keep it easy, I'll let it just take the IP address here, and we'll show the little message here that indicates that once you change the IP address from this default 192.168.168.168, you're going to have to reconnect, and that's okay. So we go back into our RAIDar unit here, and let's select Rescan. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, now we're going to see what address our DHCP server, in this case our router, is going to hand to us. And keeping in mind, we can set a static address, and if you do that, and this is typically what I do, but if you do, make sure you take a little a label of some kind and attach it to your ReadyNAS so that you know what address you set it to. It just makes it easier. You should always be able to find it with the RAIDar utility, but a piece of masking tape even can be used on the bottom of the unit or something, and just mark down what you did. Okay, now keep in mind if you just get this spinning thing, what has happened is more than likely you have gotten an address, but now you've lost your connection to the unit, as it actually warned you that you would. So let's go back into our RAIDar and see what we find. Okay, after rescanning, we do see the ReadyNAS Duo, and it's an address of 192.168.1.101. So if we go back to our browser here and change the address, now we get this same Firefox connection again. Go through the same rigmarole, put in our username and password. And while I do recommend changing the password on the ReadyNAS, again, I do highly recommend that you have either a digital password safe on your machine, or possibly even just again put on a piece of tape underneath the bottom of the unit. The purpose isn't usually to protect against someone inside the the home or building where the NAS is. It's more for external protection. Now here we have the status screen again, showing us pretty much the same information, except for now we have the IP address of 1.101. Go through some of our same options here quickly. And now you can see it's kind of grayed out, but the address, the IP address is there. And now we'll move forward. Now you can change the host name. It shows you what the default is. I like something a little bit more descriptive usually. Maybe we'll just call it Duo. And you can name the work group. This can be the same Windows Network group that you have, and maybe it's just work group. Depends on what you have there at home or in the office. DNS settings, again, something you're really not going to pay any attention to. You will get that typically from your router or your default gateway. Same thing in most cases. Here is you see it grayed out again up here and grayed out down here. It's just going to take your router that might be provided by your ISP, or maybe you've got a wireless router or something. And it warns if you've not applied your changes. Here's where you can type in the new password, and a really neat feature is this password recovery question and a recovery email address. So if you forget the password, but you know the recovery question or the answer to the recovery question that you've typed in, and if you have a valid email address of yours there, you can try to recover the password from the ReadyNAS that way, and it will email it to you if you answer the correct question. So that's a really nice feature. I have actually used it once and worked out real well. And here it says I must change the default admin password, and we'll just type in something. Okay, we've typed in some information here, and again, store it in a safe place. You do have to apply it before you move on, and then you will have to log back in. And obviously me at google.com is not my email address. Now we're at the security screen, and you can see you can add users, and that's only for share access where you want to have some passwords on there. And you do not have to. You can have everyone be able to just access the shares that you have without any username and password, and that's okay. And we're going to do that right now just for simplicity. And here you can select what kind of protocols you can access the NAS with, and you can see that what it comes with by default. And CIFS is predominantly Windows. Mac OS X also supports it, but it may be referred to as SMB, and it points that out right here. NFS, if you have Unix or Linux, again, Mac OS supports that. And here you have AFP for Apple Filing Protocol, and this might be something you'd want to use if you are using Macs, and of course it uses Bonjour, can use Apple Talk. FTP is not near as popular. HTTP is obviously just open up in a web browser, and you can do that, but you kind of want to set that up. And the rsync is really, again, something a little bit more advanced. We'll just kind of move along with the defaults. Now here we have all the kind of media fun stuff. Squeeze Center, if you have it. You can use your ReadyNAS as an iTunes streaming server. That's really a neat function. A lot of people might want to do that. Or Ready DLNA, which means that if you store, say, movies that you have legally downloaded onto your ReadyNAS that you want to watch maybe on your computer or PlayStation, what you watch on your TV through a PlayStation, maybe even watch directly on an internet-enabled TV, you can set that up too. These are off by default, just kind of so things are running lean. If you don't need them, don't have them running. And here is BitTorrent. A lot of people use that. ReadyNAS Photos, that's kind of a neat option too. It's something you just go ahead and install, and you install the application then on your PC or Mac, and it just runs a real nice photo display, directly from the ReadyNAS. ReadyNAS Remote, again, another neat feature. So you can, and this is one of the reasons why you want to have that password changed. But you get secure remote access to your ReadyNAS without complicated router setup, and that's the thing that's so important, because people do not understand how to set up firewalls, and even those of us who do maybe just don't want to have to go through that kind of effort to do something that that can be made much more simple. And this is a nice feature that ReadyNAS offers, again, across their entire product line, and a lot of their competition does not. One of the reasons I like ReadyNAS. A lot of features. Here are the shares. No shares exist simply because we haven't set any up. Here's where you can add shares. You put in the name, description, and whether or not you want public access. And of course, you'd want public access if you have not set up any usernames and passwords. Again, if you have a USB printer, you can plug it in and share it. Very nice feature. We do not. And then you can register the product, which is what you want to do for warranty support and everything else. And it's pretty basic to do that. Well, here we are at the home screen. Gives us some information about the ReadyNAS, and as you can see here, the volume C is offline. We did not set up any volumes. These were a couple of used disks I just popped in there. But we're able to configure everything else, and when we want to, we can plug in some raw disks there. It'll set up an X-RAID RAID 1 type array, which will be mirroring our data between the drives. We can create some shares. We can add users if we want to, or just leave them public access. That's your choice. But what we have got it set up here, it's ready to go. And we've documented everything that we've done, any changes we made to the password or the IP address. And like I said, maybe a label on the underside of the NAS is the way to go for that. But make sure you do keep track of your changes. And all this setup really only takes a few minutes. It took a little longer because I'm trying to demonstrate and talk as I go, but it really is very quick. It is very easy. And for the most part, you can pretty much take the defaults. But you can come to our website, networkstoragetips.com. We've got a lot more information. We have more videos, all kinds of blog posts and other help for you, as well as some links as to where you can find these units, comparisons between them, what the differences are, what the options are, and links to the best prices. So the link is on the screen, and the link is in the description of this video. I thank you very much for watching.